Hour coming to you live for the Built for Tough Studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg G and audience. Boomer and Gio on the Fan simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network and wherever you are on the free Odyssey app. Good Friday morning. A feel-good Friday, but the Knicks last night getting crushed by the Detroit Pistons. Once again, swept this season by the Pistons who set out this year to avenge their postseason loss against the Knicks, at least in the regular season, and they certainly have done that. And if and when they meet in the postseason, now we have to decide if we care about anything that happened in the regular season in the postseason. That's really where we're at right now. Are you concerned about what you've seen in these games so much so that you can project it into the postseason or not? And, I mean, I want to say it doesn't matter, but last night was awful, awful. And you didn't have Jalen Duran, and you didn't have Isaiah Stewart in the game, and you got smacked around by Cade Cunningham, who looked like the best player on the court times 10. So really, really rough one last night. I don't think that they're just going to get swept by the Pistons if they go into the playoffs, but if you're one of these people that are saying just wait to the playoffs, it doesn't matter, don't be surprised if you see something like last night happen again when it really matters. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Jay. You know, we do have a little bit of history here where the Knicks get dominated by a team during the regular season, then they come back and they beat them in the playoffs. What?
Well, yeah, the Cavs.
Yeah, well, and also Boston last year.
Oh, yeah, true.
I mean, so there is some of that, but I will say this morning when I wake up, I put the blame at the feet, I should say, of Mike Brown, the coach. Because if Jalen Duran is not playing, who should be getting the ball?
Well, Karl-Anthony Towns.
What is the coach doing? Is the coach just standing there, waving hi to his friend who's coaching the other team and going to shake his hand and going to have a lot of fun and a lot of laughs after the game is over, after your team just got its ass kicked on its home field, on its home court? Are you kidding me? I mean, so the coach has got to get proverbial head out of ass and say, look, man, they're missing their guy that is just beating the crap out of our guy the last two times we played them. And we got to get him the ball. We got to get him in the game. We got to get him moving. And, I don't know what Karl-Anthony Towns is doing. He should be calling for the basketball. I don't know. Last night was about as embarrassing a loss as they've had in a long time because.
Well, I mean, that Indiana Pacers loss.
Well, I mean, but at least the game was tight and everything else like this. This was the ass kicking and the third time this year that they got their ass kicked by Detroit. And this was coming back off of the NBA All-Star break. You got your two new guys on your team. They're supposed to be tougher. And you know what? It was anything but that. It was, honestly, if I were at that game last night, I would have been booing my ass off because there are a lot of guys making a lot of money, and there's a new coach on that sideline that's supposed to be figuring this whole thing out. And if you were going to get embarrassed at home in front of your home fans by this team that's already kicked your ass twice and is doing so, as you said, without Isaiah Stewart or Jalen Duran, then there's an issue. There is a major issue. And I'm sorry, you can do as many podcasts as you want. You can have as much, personality as you want. You can love each other as much as you want. The performance speaks for itself. And last night, if I'm Mike Brown, I have a hard time going to sleep because, your ass was brought here so you could actually take this team to the next level. And what is happening is that you're getting stepped on by a team that is at the next level right now, especially without two of their better players.
You came into this season as a prohibitive favorite to go to the NBA Finals out of the Eastern Conference. As you sit here now, you are a legitimate underdog to the Detroit Pistons. It's their Eastern Conference, and it's not even close. This is their Eastern Conference, and the Knicks are going to have to prove that they can actually beat this team to earn the respect of that team. I mean, the Pistons play like they don't even respect them. And, after the Indiana game, I went on and on about the Karl-Anthony Towns thing that you're talking about and getting them the ball and these things, and I agree with everything you're saying because it happened again last night. But the way that he was just abused defensively last night was the most alarming thing.
You know what? They need to extend the trade deadline. These guys need to think that they're going to get traded again.
You're right. I mean, that was the last time we saw them have, major effort when that was going on and during the winning streak. And, I mean, I hate when a team targets a guy knowing they're going to just run circles around him, and then that happens. Like in a football game where you have a bad corner, and then they target that guy and they go after
your
him.
Quarterback is shaky.
Yeah, it's just or whatever it may be. It's that one matchup that the other team, everybody knows it, and then they go after the guy, and then it happens. But when it's one of your best players that you're counting on to be a cog in the wheel, a major cog in the wheel to win a championship, at Karl-Anthony Towns, and they're just running circles around him, without the guy in Jalen Duran, who I've been talking about, I'm so scared about him in the playoffs just pushing Karl-Anthony Towns into another dimension. Like, I just see him picking him up and throwing him into another universe.
Yeah,
because he's so much stronger and tougher than he is. So that was a big one. And here's one thing that I think is I need to know what percentage OG Anunoby was last night. Now, I would love to, be a fly on the wall or have, an honest conversation with him before the game. Like, how do you feel? Where are you at? You haven't played in a while. You got your toenail ripped off. Where are you at? And if he had told me or whoever was around, I'm 100%, I feel great, I can't wait to play this game, and then gave you that effort last night, that is a problem because he could not. He's our best defender by far. And you throw him on Cade Cunningham, and it's like he's invisible. Coach Anunoby, he couldn't do anything to stop him.
Wow.
And then he was horrendous. He's one of my favorite players. I love OG. He was horrendous on the offensive end. So I don't my little mini glass half full thing today, because I don't think there's any of that, is that I don't think you're going to get that same OG Anunoby performance if he's fully healthy in the playoffs against Cade Cunningham. He came back and was just flat out bad, and I don't know how much his toenail thing is bugging him.
Well, I would think that would be part of it. And then there's Mikal Bridges that just kind of says, I'm out of this game.
Yeah.
I just, I mean, really, honestly, it goes around throughout the roster. But to me, I hold the coach accountable because, if you know that the other team's big man who has basically swallowed up your guy is not playing, then you got to try to exploit that any way you can. I think Cat only had 3 attempts in the first half.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't know. Is the coach actually getting paid to coach and say something, or is he just sitting there trying to be friends with everybody? I don't know. I really don't. The thing about it is, I always would know that Tibbs would actually have the team's elbows sharpened. He would have them ready to go.
Yeah.
There have been moments this year where you're thinking, okay, this team looks pretty damn good, and maybe this is the system that they should be playing. And then there are games against good teams, especially last night against Detroit, that really open your eyes. And you say to yourself, is this team tough enough? And this is why they brought in these 2 extra players, Jose Alvarado and the
Jeremy Sohan.
Yeah. They're supposed to, add toughness and defense to this team that, unfortunately, their star player is like a wallflower.
Well, yes. I mean, in Karl-Anthony Towns, yeah. and last night, I mean, Cade Cunningham was the best player. He might be the best player in the series. I mean, I love Jalen Brunson, but if he plays like that last night in a playoff series, I mean, there's just nothing you could do. I mean, he's in the MVP conversation, like a serious MVP candidate, Cade Cunningham. And last night, I think it was one of those games that really puts him up there. I mean, I know that the Knicks can turn it on, and I believe that they still are more talented than the Detroit Pistons, and I know that they're not going to play this poorly the entire series if and when they meet in the postseason. But there's just things in here last night that I don't know are fixable, and most of that, quite frankly, is Karl-Anthony Towns, and not all of it is his fault, but it's almost like when you talk about, and this is why I had this after the Indiana game, I had the conversation, I was throwing it out there because I really don't know the answer. Is it all a Karl-Anthony Towns thing? Is it a Mike Brown doesn't trust him situation? Is it the teammates don't respect him enough to feed him in those situations? Is it a combination of all of these things, and how do you fix it? And it's almost like Mike Brown was given a tool he just doesn't know how to use. That seems like what it is right now. It's like, hey, this thing can do a lot of things, this tool that I'm handing you. But if you're someone who's not a contractor or what, he doesn't know what to do with it. That's what it feels like. And then when Karl-Anthony Towns, because he's not the strongest mental and physical player out there, let's be honest, when he's not getting the ball or things are going bad for him defensively, then it becomes an avalanche. And then he's committing the bad fouls, and he's laying on the court, and he's going, no, and all these things that he does. And it's horrible. So, I mean, but how do you fix it?
I don't know, man. You know what you do is you extend the trade deadline. That's how you fix it.
Yeah.
So they all think that they're getting traded. I mean, now you understand why. If there was a real push to try to get Giannis, this is why. And I don't know how much that would have changed anything either. I mean, like, just the way that Mike Brown wants to play is just up and down and shoot threes. And if you're not shooting threes, you're not making your threes, or you're not giving – Karl-Anthony Towns any opportunity to take advantage of a guy who's not playing, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that is just a flat-out laydown last night that was just horrific. That's the only way I could put it. It's horrific, yeah. And that's 3 times in a row now that Detroit is basically slapped the Knicks upside the head and said, F off, man.
Yeah,
we own your ass.
Well, yes, and that was what
this goes back to last year in the playoffs, man. You know that.
Yeah, of course, and that's why they came into this year to prove a point, to send a message, and they've done that every single time. I mean, I was fully prepared to talk about this game like the Knicks beat them, but let's be careful because they were missing 2 impactful players, one of which is one of their most intimidating players in Durant. Like that's what I thought the conversation was going to be. I thought the Knicks would come out and be really good out of the break, at home, and beat the Pistons, but then I'd say, it's great, nice job, but let's remember, this is not the team you're going to see in the playoffs. That's what I thought we were going to be talking about. Not that they're missing those 2 guys, and the Knicks came out at Madison Square Garden to a crowd that was all fired up to see them and hadn't seen them in a while against the premier opponent in the East just to get punched in the face. I mean, I didn't expect. I mean, listen, I shouldn't be surprised by anything in sports, but I really did not expect this at all.
I just have to that. That was, I don't know. It was such a frustrating watch.
I mean, it's alarming, is what it is. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that they can't turn it around in the playoffs or they can't beat the Pistons.
They've done this before, but with a different coach.
Yeah, and I understand things can change. They are more talented, but there's just things going on in these games and last night that concerns me. It's like, for example, I don't know if Karl-Anthony Towns can play better against the Pistons. Like, then I don't know if he could be dominant against the Pistons. I think that he's just going to have to not screw it up. But here's one where I think will be better. I think if OG Anunoby's totally healthy, Cade Cunningham isn't going to twist him into a pretzel like he did last night. And I think OG's going to be a hell of a lot better. I think that Jalen Brunson, when Cade Cunningham's going off in the playoffs, is going to match him shot for shot at times. I think that will happen. It didn't happen last night. There's certain things where I can project where the Knicks will be better, but there's certain things where I can't.
Dude, they have gotten trounced by them 3 times this year.
I mean, listen, I know.
I mean, I don't know what they're saying in their locker room. What do you think they're saying in their locker room before
the Pistons?
Yeah.
I mean, like, let's slap these bitches around like we've been doing it the entire year.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's tough being, the identity of the Knicks when they have been good has always been the tougher team. That's what we take pride in, is like the Knicks and the New York tough, and when we've had good teams. And to have a good team and be the more finesse group and have this team from Detroit, come in and push you around in your building and have these games go the way they have this year it's embarrassing. I mean, I hope those guys are embarrassed. And I'm with you. I think Mike Brown is probably, he doesn't have the answers. Like, against this particular team, he does not have the answers. And sometimes, these things are pure matchup related. And that's what scares me, is that this thing was as wide open as possibly could be. It was on a platter for the Knicks. And then here come the Pistons that want it more and are tougher and are just going to take it and snatch this thing away in front of us.
So is it better to play in the All-Star game and then come back and play at home, or is it better to play in the All-Star game and then go on the road and go play?
Yeah,
which is harder? I would say going on the road and going to play, didn't seem like to affect Cade Cunningham at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you could take these 2 teams and put them in the gym at Half Hollow Hills West and the Pistons, out of the All-Star game or not, and just smack the Knicks around. I don't think any of it matters. I mean, honestly, do you think the conditions matter at this point?
To me is like the Knicks championship run had opened. What would you say when they finally got Jalen Brunson? They finally got a point guard that can handle the ball, distribute the ball, shoot the ball, do all the little things that he can do. Gave the Knicks a fighting chance to be able to say, hey, we do have not only a playoff team here, maybe, just maybe, the championship window is open. But the window was supposed to really be open when they acquired Karl-Anthony Towns. That, to go along with Mikal Bridges, to go along with OG, to go along with Hart. Like, they didn't draft any of these guys. This was all a manufactured team to open the championship window for this basketball team. And 2 years ago, great run, fun run, injuries, whatever. Last year, not so great. Beat Boston, ends up losing to Detroit, not great. And now, all of a sudden, here we are. This window now, all of a sudden, in my eyes, is closing because of the way that Detroit has completely and utterly obliterated this basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, and that will be the sentiment if they get knocked out by the Pistons, is exactly that. What you said, that the window feels like it is closing and is not nearly as open as it was. There's still time to figure it out. I get the biggest question is, do you believe, or do Knicks fans believe, because we know they can't beat the Pistons with a bad Karl-Anthony Towns. We know that. Can they beat the Pistons with Karl-Anthony Towns just being okay? If he's pedestrian and not bad, can they beat the Pistons? Because if the answer to that is no, then they don't have a shot because he's not going to be great against that team. In a full series, he is, and I stand by this, he is incapable of being great in a series against the Detroit Pistons. What I mean is that you're not good enough, you're not tough enough, and you don't have it. That I'm sorry, Kat, but this is where we're at. So if you're telling me that he's okay, he's not screwing it up, he's not fouling out, he's not laying on the ground and complaining, he's not getting punked defensively, he's just okay. And can the Knicks beat the Pistons that way if OG is great, if Jalen Brunson puts the cape on, if all of the things that we know about this team come together, if Mitchell Robinson is the best defensive player in the series?
I don't know. I still go back to the coach. I really do. They changed this coach for a reason. They thought that they needed a new coach, a new system to get them over the hump. And
but it's like, man,
I'm telling you, man, just watching these 3 games against Detroit and watching them hammer them. I mean, it's not even a joke. Cade Cunningham is out there playing like, I don't know what. He's just like playground basketball. Just give me the ball, let me take it, and I'll go, and I'll make a bucket here, I'll make a bucket there. We need a bucket. They got a little bit of run going on. Just give me the ball. I'll make it. I'll make a 3-pointer.
I mean, the entire teeth of this team comes out of them if OG Anunoby can't defend. Really. And last night he couldn't. So if you're taking that ability away from this team to put OG Anunoby on a great offensive player and neutralize him to a certain degree, if he can't do that, then...
Yeah, but don't forget what you said when you opened up this morning. And this is the thing about it, is that the Pistons didn't play their full complement of players.
Well, yeah, right.
They didn't have to.
Well, no, it's not that. They were suspended from the fight. That's why they didn't play.
But what I'm saying, they didn't have to play them in order to win.
Sure, yeah. They didn't need them, yeah. Yeah,
I mean that's the scary part.
Yeah, I mean I don't want to be alarmed.
So they get into the fight, they get suspended, nervous. Oh, they're going to be missing 2 of their most important players.
I was that guy.
They still got effing hammered.
Yeah, I know, and I was that guy. Like I said, I really thought, I was like, this is the conversation today is going to be. Knicks fans are fired up. You beat the Pistons. Here we go. NBA Finals. Here we come. But just be careful because this is not the team you're going to see in the playoffs because they're missing. 2 key contributors,
dude.
Instead, we got the floor wiped. They wiped the floor with us, and we're sitting here confused and angry and frustrated and alarmed.